and I want to welcome you all to this webinar on AGORA and Research for Life. And specifically, we'll be talking about navigating AGORA and looking for books and information. And to apologize in advance, I have a bit of a cold, so if I cough, please excuse me. So welcome, everyone. So we're going to look at it through the lens of nutrition today. And primarily, we want to start with to do research and study and have access to up-to-date information. And that can be difficult in many countries. It can be an issue of access, of internet costs, broadband, and the libraries don't always have access to peer-reviewed journals. And we know that up-to-date research information is really important for discovering evidence, making policy-based decisions, and also making research more visible. And this is where Research for Life comes in. They really, let me go to the next one here. So today we're going to look at the topics, which are, we'll talk a little bit about AGORA and Research for Life, a little bit about defining your search. I'm going to show you the journal portal and different ways to navigate that, a bit on keyword searching, and an example of finding a citation. Now, we could talk for 3 hours about searching for information. This is just a short overview on one particular area. So something you want to know more about, you can let us know, and we can look at some future webinars on those. So Research for Life, it is a fantastic initiative. It's a private-public partnership, and through Research for Life, institutions can have access to up to 77,000 peer-reviewed international scientific journals, books, and databases. You can have access to full-text articles, which you can read, download, save. You can search, and sometimes we have initiatives like this. And through Research for Life, 72 of the world's poorest countries have access to journals and books. Another 45 countries have low-cost access to information. There we go. So the whole point of it is to reduce the scientific knowledge gap between higher income and lower income countries. There are many inequalities, and this is only one measure, but I think it's a very useful one. And it's a collective name for the 4 programs. You see up here on the screen, there's Hinari, AGORA, OWADA, and ARDI. And those cover respectively health, agriculture, fisheries, forest, nutrition, environment, and innovation, and intellectual property issues. So collectively, they cover topics that are useful to many of you. And we want to simply explain that it can be easier for you to navigate and find these resources. So who can access this? You can see the countries on the map. I think this is from 2016. Every year it changes slightly. So the blue ones, those are the countries that have free access. National institutions will have free access. And the blue ones have low-cost access. That means $1,500 per year per institution. And that money goes back to capacity development initiatives, workshops, training, e-learning. So it's collectively, for example, if you're looking at AGORA, that's about $6 million worth of journals and scientific information if you're actually going to subscribe to it, covering many, many, many topics. So it's a good resource, and we think people should be aware of it. So the goal of all of this is, again, to improve food security by increasing the quality and effectiveness of agricultural research, education, and training in low-income countries. And of course, when we say agriculture, we need it in the broader sense, which covers also forestry, fisheries, environment, climate change, nutrition. And more. So, just a couple slides about what are you searching for? This is actually kind of a tough question. You have to really say, what is your research question? And I don't know what your background is. You can put that in the chat if you would like to. But are you a government official looking for information for policy-based decisions? Are you a lecturer looking for up-to-date information on a specific topic? Are you a student working on your PhD? Are you a researcher looking at nutrition issues for a specific country? You know, what question are you trying to answer? And based on that, you would say, what kind of information do I need? Do I need data sets? Do I need recent publications? Am I doing a literature review? It really depends. There's no right or wrong answer. It's really, what do I need? When we talk about concepts and terms, in terms of nutrition, I might want to look at child and maternal nutrition. It could be, in this case, we're looking at human nutrition. It could also be animal nutrition. It could be food sources. It could be other impacting factors. It could be socioeconomic issues. So really, it's good to have a think about what you're looking for and also synonyms and things like that. Are there other ways to say the same thing that I'm looking for? And sources. Do you have a journal or a portal or database that you like to use? And that's something, again, if you want to put something in the chat to say ones that I use for nutrition areas that are very useful, please let us know because we're happy to learn from you. And there's, how do you know if you're searching for the right thing? Sometimes people will search and say, I'm not finding what I need. The question is, what are you expecting to find? What are you looking for? Are you looking for most relevant, most recent data, satellite imagery, official reports, country statistics? It really depends. So it's just to say it's no, it may be something you have to revise several times to come back. You search, you see, find what you need, you download it, you look for examples, you save the citations, and you also have to think critically. Can I trust the information that I'm finding? Just because it's online doesn't mean it's true. So just evaluating that critically is important. And just say, have I found what I need to answer my initial question? Okay, so here I had an example about, my example was then working on maternal and child nutrition in sub-Saharan Africa. And this could be from a researcher or policy officer question, saying what are some key areas of nutrition? And I would say, I think I need scholarly primary research, but I also might want to look at other key terms, like household food security, measurement, dietary assessments, effective interventions. So these are just some of the keywords that I might search for depending on which angle I'm taking. So, so now you could search for information so many different places, and there's no right or wrong place to search. So today we're only going to talk about searching in AGORA, or through the AGORA portal. So I don't know how many of you actually use AGORA already, but AGORA is like your library. You can browse, you can search for journals in specific areas or topics. You can find a citation and get the full text, or you can do a keyword search. So if you're registered already for AGORA, that is very useful. Remember, we'll talk a little bit about this later. But registration is institutional. So if you're not sure if you're registered, ask your institutional librarian. They're usually the ones who have the username and password. So you can go to the website and browse and just have a look around. But you'll have much more access to the materials if you're logged in fully. And what do I find on Agora? I can find journals and books and databases and data sets. That's becoming increasingly important these days. Reference material and governmental. These are different kinds of information. You want to find all of these on Agora. Sorry about that. A bit of a cold, so I'm a bit slow today. And gray literature. These are just many other possible ways you can be finding information. But we're looking at today. Yes, go ahead and type in the comments. I'm following you. So I'm going to the website. The website, it's FAO.org/Agora. I can go in through access the content or log into Agora. Okay, you can hear me. Good. So here what happens if I click on the login to Agora? you get to a Research for Life login portal. It's the same login for the 4 different programs. And it's a little bit clunky to use. The good news is we're working on the new authentication systems. This is going to be much easier in the future. But for now, bear with us. And this is the login portal. So now I'm going to the website. Now here I've gone to the website. This is the journal portal in AGORA. I've come in, but I have not logged in. You can see that on the upper right-hand corner where it says, please log in to access AGORA. You can still see materials and journals if you're not logged in. Those are the ones that are marked in green boxes. But the gray ones are all marked gray, which means I might have access to more if I'd logged in. So let's see what happens if I've logged in from a country profile. So I've come in from Namibia, a beautiful country, and what do I see? It knows I'm logged in from Namibia. It will know that you're from a university or a government office, or a university, for example, or a research institution. And this is just to see what the journal portal looks like. You've got the journals sorted by letters. You've got the books collection, also alphabetical. And we'll just give you a little tour of this. Now, this is not the most modern portal, and this is also something we would like to be updating with the other Research for Life programs. But for now, this is what we have. So this is just to explain it if it's not obvious for you. So what we can find in AGORA, again, we're looking at food, forestry, fisheries, environmental sciences, social sciences, and we want you to, it's mainly journals, but there's an increasing amount of ebooks as well. You have to log in with your institutional username and password. So I can look for materials for the journals by title, A, B, C, etc. What's interesting today is to say, actually, I only want to browse the ones related to food science and nutrition. And if I go to, this is under the subject tab, if I search for food science and nutrition, I get both books and journals. So it's more of a one-stop shop. And this is useful if you don't quite know what you're looking for. If you're not looking for a specific citation, you just want to see what, in this case, food science and nutrition journals are available. This gives me a very quick overview if I want to browse. I could also pick the topic forestry or economics or social sciences or plant sciences to have a look at that. So based on your interest, you can have a look at this through a lens of the topic of your interest. So if I know the publisher, I know I specifically want to look at ones from Taylor and Francis or African Journals Online or Springer, then I can go in through there and choose the publisher ones. Now this is mainly be useful if I found a citation and I don't know if I have access to the full text or not. Otherwise, I would probably go through subject or do a keyword search. Same principle for books. I can look at the books by title and then pick one and open it. We also have databases. This is interesting in the context of open data. There's a lot more data sets being published, which might be useful for secondary research. An example of one of those is SHARE. So it's hard to see it on the screen, but I put in the keywords maternal and child nutrition in sub-Saharan Africa. And I can see that I have data sets, posters, presentations, publications available also here through SHARE. And quite new ones. The newest one is from March 2017. So it's just many different ways to search. On the lower right-hand side, you'll see free collections. And examples of a free collection you can find is AGORA's, which has about 8 million multilingual bibliographic resources. So also there, I can go in and search maternal and child nutrition in sub-Saharan Africa. And I can find World Bank reports, I can find reviews, and again there I can filter. Just a quick search gave me 19,000 results. So I would probably want to filter that more to see what I actually really need. Next on the list is PubAg. I think there was just a webinar on Agora about PubAg last week, so keep an eye out for the published presentation on that. That can be quite useful. Okay, I'm sorry about the sound quality. It could be the network here. So here I've gone to PubAg and I put in a search for nutrition sub-Saharan Africa. And also there I'm finding information available. This is usually it's research published by the USDA scientists in the States. And there are many, many technical articles there which can also be useful for you. So now I'm going to have to show you a quick example of retrieving a full text article. So I may have done a search somewhere, and I'm looking for a specific one about child undernutrition being undermined by dietary exposure to aflatoxins. That comes out a lot in peanuts, well, groundnuts here in Ghana, I know. So how do I find that? Well, ideally there would be an easy search. There is not there yet. So I would go scroll down until I find the journal, which I know starts with C. Critical Reviews on Food Science and Nutrition. I found the example. I've scrolled down to find the right journal volume and the issue. I scroll down. Here's the full text of the article about undernutrition and aflatoxins. You can see I can download. I can click an abstract, full text, references, or PDF. And if I select the PDF, I have the full text of it, and I can download that and save that. This is quite useful if you have expensive or slow internet. You can download things and then read them later. You're stuck in traffic or offline, for example, you can pick up your materials. So keyword search. This is the question where you'd say on the journal portal, ideally you would have a search interface, something like Google, and we miss that, and it's not there, it seems. But if you scroll onto the portal and look for something called Summon, that's a search engine. It's a search engine that covers over 90% of what's in Agora. You can put in your search terms and put in date, you can refine it. It's a really useful, fast way to search the collection. So again, we're back on the front page, and I've gone down lower left-hand quadrant, and there, it says search inside Agora full text using Summon. This is really it's a much more efficient way to search the collection. It opens up a search window. I type in maternal and child nutrition, sub-Saharan Africa. Put anything you want. And I've got about 6,000 results. This is just the Agora collection. If I click on the little box at the top where it says add results beyond your library's collection, you'll have a much bigger access. On the left, I can go in and narrow this down. By type, I only want journal articles. I only want journal articles from the last 12 months. I want it in the context of public health, for example. You can narrow this down very much. So in this case, I picked one. I'll go back again. I picked the first one here. Which one of these? And I can then search and open up more closely. So here, I've chosen to save it, and I can cite it, email it to myself, or I can save the item temporarily, and you can export it, email it, or print it. This is very useful if you need to read things online again. I don't know how many of you use reference management software. There's Mendeley, there's EndNote, there's Zotero. Those are also very useful. You can export straight to those after a search and summon. So here I've opened up a full text one about women's empowerment and infant and school and feeding practices. So again, depending on your angle, you will want to put in keywords to target more specifically the material you're looking for. So here I've gone back to the search page, and it says that I've been clicking on these and saving them. It's just a temporary one. But here I've clicked through and I've saved ones I think would be interesting. and then I can send that list to myself and browse and think more about it or import them to my reference management software. So it's useful to know that there are different ways to access these things in search. So that was a very quick overview of finding information in Agora. Now there are many, many other ones. You could also be using, so looking for nutrition, I would probably also look at Hinari, I would look at PubMed, I would look at UN Resources. There are so many places I would search. So, but this is just one that you have access to. So if your institution is not already registered, you may say, how do I register? So I would go to researchforlife.org. You only need to register once, so please ask your librarian first if you're registered already. You can register for all 4 programs at once, and that can be very useful, depending on who is accessing what kind of information, because the 4 different programs have different kinds of information. So through this, we just want to summarize by saying that Research for Life is making a difference, because it is so important that the research is as best informed as possible, and using the most recent high quality and relevant scientific knowledge. So this is really reaching out to universities, colleges, research institutes, ministries, NGOs, hospitals, and I really want to underline